This week on Futbol Mundial, the legends from the past. And the stars to watch out for in the future. The Maradona legacy in Naples. How a football empire came crashing to the ground. And finally, he's the one to watch out for, King Robbie, a star for the new millennium.
I used to play in the streets, play for the school. That's the reason why I came over, you know, to be a footballer.
The voice of one of the most exciting prospects in football. You may recognise the colours of Wolverhampton Wanderers. You probably won't recognise the legs of a gifted 18-year-old Irishman who's got world at his feet. Welcome to the world of Robbie Keane.
Yeah, it was a bit difficult at the start, you know, coming away from home, leaving your family, leaving your friends. But it wasn't going to turn me back on that. So every young lad wants the opportunity to play for such a club like Wolves, a big club. So I relished the chance.
To really understand what Robbie Keane is all about, you need to take a stroll through the streets and playing fields of Tala, a suburb of Dublin, where he was born. These scenes are typical. Kids engaged in football, jumpers as goalposts, every game a classic. This is how Robbie learnt to play football.
When I was around 8 or 9, there was a team starting up called Futbol United, and my brother decided to bring me over. So, funny enough that there was too many kids turned up, so I was one of the fortunate kids that I got left out. So, but while the manager wasn't looking, my brother put him behind his back, so I just snuck in there, you know, so it really took off from there.
Futbol were his first local team, but it was at Crumlin United that Robbie Keane's game improved dramatically. Crumlin are one of those football clubs you hear about every so often. Thanks to tireless voluntary work by local people who give up their time, Crumlin are able to field 14 teams each weekend. It's an impressive sight, and it produces some impressive players.
It's great when you see the likes of Robbie Keane and Jason Gavin coming through, and you see even here in the Saturday and Sunday, you see the kids coming up and playing. Yeah, it's great. It's great for the area. It's great for the time you put into it. When you see something like that happening, you say, yeah, okay, it's all worthwhile, you know.
Of course, it helps when a Crumlin old boy goes on to become a professional like Robbie Keane. He started playing for Crumlin when he was 12 and stayed for 4 years. He played in the same team as one of his neighbours, Jason Gavin, who was signed for Middlesbrough. Robbie actually started out as a fullback before his uncle converted him to centre forward. So by the time he moved to Crumlin, he was knocking in the goals.
Obviously, I learned a lot of things, you know. There was these two managers there, Jem Loughlin and Larry Fox, who was with me since under 12s to under 16s. And it's two great coaches, you know. But I learned a lot of things, you know. I learned how to make runs and all that, little things like that. And how to score goals. I don't know if I learned that, but
it was unbelievable to watch him then at 11. All he ever wanted to do was play football in England from the time he came to the club.
He was also very talented at Gaelic sports, but the Republic were grateful that he eventually concentrated on football. At last year's Under-18 European Championship in Cyprus, the Republic of Ireland reached the final where they met Germany. Robbie Keane had been the star of this Irish team in leading them there. In the final, it was his skill which set up the Irish goal, scored by Alan Quinn. With skills like this, it's not surprising he'd already been called up to the full Irish squad some 3 months previously.
Mark McGee called me into the office and he says, "You just got a letter through now that you got picked for the Irish team," and it was I was just so happy. I couldn't smile, you know, because he said to me, "You don't really look too happy," but inside me, I was so happy. It was unbelievable. I just got straight on the phone to me, man, but she already knew.
He's undoubtedly Ireland's brightest young star, no relation, incidentally, to Roy Keane of Manchester United. It was no surprise when Robbie picked up the award as Best Under-23 player in Ireland in November, even though he was only 18. No one knows or appreciates that more than the man credited with the success of Irish youth football, Brian Kerr.
The immediate impact was the speed, and the speed of thought, but the speed of action, and the intent on scoring goals, the cheek and confidence to beat players.
Robbie's club, Wolverhampton Wanderers, haven't been in the top flight for 15 years, a far cry from the 50s when Wolves were champions of England 3 times. Ribbie Keane has taken well to life in Wolverhampton, and that can only be a benefit to the club's plans.
At the start, I was getting a bit homesick and for the first few months, but then once you get settled down, get used to a few things, get used to your landlady, get used to a certain amount of things, it'll just be all right then, you know.
It was certainly a coup for Wolves, but how did they manage it? Chris Evans is director of youth football at the club.
Mums and dads, when we're enticing players from the Republic, you know, they ask the real questions. They're asking about his education, they're asking about his accommodation. They want to meet people. You know, players actually sign for people, not for clubs.
If you want proof of how well Robbie has settled in, then just take a look at the impact he made on his debut. 17 years old, away to Norwich, mum and dad flown in especially. The stage was set.
Oh, obviously, like my first game, I was absolutely nervous, you know. It was just the night before the game, I was getting butterflies in my stomach. But once I got out on the pitch, you know, and it was all right then, you know. Just the family came over for the game. My mum and dad, they were in the stand, so they were watching the game. So I had to try and do my bit, you know, for them, coming all the way out from Ireland. But it was an absolutely great day for me. Scoring 2 goals, that was a big bonus, and it's a day I'll never forget.
Ribbie Keane finished top scorer in the league for Wolves last season, so the pressure was on him to perform this season. He's responded with 14 goals in all competitions. Clubs are queuing up for his signature. $8 million is the current valuation. Not enough to buy one arm, says Wolves boss Colin Lee. His celebrations have also caught the attention, but isn't he worried about injuring himself?
No, the physio say one of these days I'm going to injure myself, but I've been doing it the last 10 years or so I haven't gotten injured yet, touch wood anyway.
Ribbie Keane wants Premiership football. It's just that he'd like to have it with Wolves next season, promotion permitting.
Great club, great ambitions. It's an absolutely magnificent stadium, great supporters, you know, and I think there's only one place for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and that is in the Premier League.
There's certainly no doubt that Ribbie Keane will his wish one day, whoever he's playing for. He's already been capped 4 times for the Republic of Ireland senior team and taken to it like a natural. His home debut was against Argentina before the World Cup. He wasn't overawed. His national manager is a big fan.
He had the games in the youth team, obviously, but he hasn't had all the games. He shouldn't, you know, usually play for a couple of years, then you move on to the under-21s, you're playing that. He had probably one season in the youth team, and then he's moved up and he's playing as if he's played full international all his life. He's a very competent young man.
And the Republic of Ireland should see a lot more of him in the years to come. Ribbie Keane and co represent the future, and it's looking good. But on a personal level, what's Keane chasing?
Well, obviously I'd like to play in the Premier League and to get to play in the World Cup with Ireland. I think they're the main 2 so far anyway, so it'd be nice to get to the World Cup and get a few games and did what Michael Owen did when he was out.
An 18-year-old trying to emulate a 19-year-old. Goodness, they aren't out of their teens, and already the likes of Ribbie Keane are bringing so much to football.